Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Slightly. How's everyone doing tonight? We'll give everybody time to get in and we'll go through our bundle. Sure to say hello in the comments. And my air conditioning's on tonight because it's still hot here. But everyone said it didn't bother them last week, so I think we're okay. All right. So I think we are good. Get that here. Oh, maybe not that much. I'm just going to move this a little bit. There we go. Usually do this beforehand. But. Okay, so tonight we have a bundle with a free gift. And we're going to make a card. And I'm pretty sure that this card is not going to take us a whole hour. So we can chit chat today and talk and just whatever you guys want to do. Hi, Kate. I am leaving for vacation on Wednesday. Next Monday, there will be a Make It Monday. And it will be live. You guys can talk and everything, but this part of it will be recorded. So, but it'll still be awesome. I promise. And the project's adorable. So, hi, Jamie. Okay, so tonight's bundle includes some new products. So for June, we have the Cosmo Glaze and Pink Sand. We have the Underwater Friendship stamp set. This stamp set is adorable. It has tons of stuff on it. We are actually just going to use the sentiment on this one for tonight because we're going to make a pink jellyfish. So the other part of tonight's bundle is that So Jelly A2 stencil. Hi, April. It's so nice to see you. And then we also have the Mermaid Tail washi sheets, which is amazing. And then we have white cardstock and rouge cardstock. Rouge is my favorite color, pink. And then if you buy the bundle tonight, so the bundle is linked in the description box below. If you buy the bundle, you also get free Raven Detail ink. Awesome, 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 awesome. So that is tonight's bundle. Free Raven Detail ink, Cosmo Glaze and Pink Sands, Underwater Friendship, stamp set, So Jelly stencil, the Mermaid Tail washi sheets, rouge cardstock, and white cardstock. Pretty awesome. Okay, we are going to start with the white cardstock because we're going to start by getting a little bit messy. I just accidentally kicked my speaker stand. But I'm noticing that we seem to have no gremlins tonight. Yay! We're going to start with our stencil and our white cardstock and our Cosmo Glaze. And we need some repositionable tape. All right. Hi, Chrissy. How are you tonight? So how cute is this? This stencil is A2 size. So it will fill up a card base just by itself, right? And so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to play with it a little bit, and we're not going to put necessarily the entire jellyfish on our card. I'm going to cut this down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Hi, Susan. So nice to see you tonight. So we're going to start by cutting this cardstock down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But we are not going to keep it that way. So this is just so that I can do all of the messy bits and move the paper around. So I'm going to go ahead because we're going to trim it down again. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Candy. Oh, so many people here tonight. Hello, hello. All right. So whatever repositionable tape you want. Candy, look what is in the upper right-hand corner of my screen. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this. All right. So this is another one of those stencils that we're going to talk about tonight because there is a trick to getting a really nice stencil with them. So first of all, I want to make sure that this stencil is completely onto my paper and there are no air bubbles. We don't want air bubbles. Now, we are going to mask off this jellyfish. We can mask off the top of the jellyfish or we can mask off the bottom of the jellyfish. For tonight, I'm going to mask the top of the jellyfish off, but I've done it both ways so that I can show you and then you can decide which you want to do for any project that you make. Oh, it is in the description box. Susan asked, where do we find the bundle? The link for the bundle is in the description box under the video. So if you minimize the video and then you can see like the views and all that stuff. And then it'll say something and it'll say more. And then you click on that and then the description box will pop up off to the side. And that's where the bundle is. Thank you, Candy. Candy is on top of it. Candy said she was waiting for Bruce Monroe to get them. Yes, me too. Same, Candy, same. So I have been also waiting for Bruce Monroe to get Simon Hurley's new Stellar inks. And they haven't gotten them yet. And I couldn't wait any longer like Candy. So I went and grabbed them too. And we are going to use this tonight. So while I do this, I am just going to go ahead and mask off the top of my jellyfish. I'm going to put this here. We're going to play with the ink tonight as well. We'll talk about that when we get. Thank you, Candy. Hi, Penny. That's okay. You didn't miss. It's not time for you to say your magic words yet. So you're good. You're good. You didn't miss your cue. You're okay. Cosmo Glaze, for those of you who might not know, is this really chunky glitter glaze. If you want to see it, if you want to see more projects with it, the project I did 2 weeks ago used the purple one. I can't remember what it's called. So it's a really chunky glaze. So it has big chunks of glitter and confetti and like all this like little flakes, and it's lovely. So if you think of chroma glaze as guacamole, Cosmo Glaze is like really chunky guacamole. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about how we put this specific glaze through the stencil. So if you look at this stencil, you can see it has a lot of little bits and pieces, right? There's these tiny little parts. And so what you want to do when you put glaze through a stencil like this is you want to follow the lines of that stencil, right? So I don't want to start here and go like this at all, because that's just going to make a big, huge mess. Instead, I'm going to spin my stencil upside down, and I am only going to move my palette knife in an upwards direction. And that is going to help me to keep those little loose pieces from catching on my palette knife. So start at the bottom and come this way. And that's how we're going to get this glaze. This glaze is chunky. I am using a good bit of pressure because I want to make sure that I get the kind of thinner parts of the glaze through all the different stencil pieces. Now, if you do this the other direction, right? So if you mask off the bottom and put the Cosmo glaze through the top, you don't have to do that because that top piece is really open, but the bottom piece is a little bit less open. So I wanted to do it this way so you could really see how start at the bottom and work your way up. And the larger pieces that are in this, we're actually going to end up mostly just kind of scraping them up and putting them back in the jar for next time. Some of them will get through the stencil, but some of them are too big because this is a really chunky glaze. Yes, this pink is gorgeous. Wait till you see how it dries. Remember that this is a glaze from Brutus Monroe, which means that's not how it's going to look when it dries. So I have my little stencil tray right there. I'm just going to toss that in there. For this stencil, because I have that top piece of the jellyfish masked off, I'm going to be very gentle with how I pull the tape off. And if I can get the whole top of this jellyfish off like in one go, that's what we want. There we go. That's that. So there is just the bottom of our jellyfish. Okay, ready? It's time for the magic words, Penny. By the magic of TV, here's what it looks like when it's all wet. And here is what it looks like all dry. So different, right? So see how it's a little bit brighter. It's a little bit oranger. It doesn't look exactly the same. I think they're both absolutely stunning, but just know that when you're dealing with chroma glazes, the way they look wet is not how they look dry. But I love that. Look how sparkly that is. So cool. All right. So I'm going to set this aside to dry. And then we're going to clean our stencil, which I generally never do. But, I want to use the rest of it, right? We got to finish our jellyfish. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my little in here, because then I can show you how to clean this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stencil and I'm going to put it into the bottom of the stencil tray. And at the bottom of the stencil tray, there is like these rubber, they look like little waves or like little grabby things. They're little grabby things. And I'm going to run my hand and put the stencil over those little grabby things. And that's going to take up most of the pieces and chunks. That's what we're trying to get rid of, the chunks. There we go. And then this lovely towel that I adore is the stencil towel, and it won't catch the stencil. So I can put the stencil right into this towel and kind of give it a little pat. Make sure we get all of the, again, I'm doing exactly what I did with the glaze, right? I don't want to catch the edges of that jellyfish, so I'm starting at the bottom and going up to, so I can get all the water off without damaging the stencil. Okay. All ready to go. Thank you, Hannah. Yes. Oh my goodness. This stuff is, it's the best. I love that too. It's like all, because it dries and it's like it concentrates the color and just makes the glittery pieces just pop right out. It looks so good. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to put the stencil back. And it will, because the Cosmo glaze has just a little bit of texture, like just the tiniest little bit of texture, the stencil is actually going to kind of like click into place. You can kind of feel it like get around, so then you know you have it right where it needs to be. And I'm going to go ahead. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the repositionable tape and I'm just going to put it on the top and the bottom, because now we want to do the top of our jellyfish, just the top. And we're going to do, we're going to go a little bit down in here. Now I had to use my new ink for tonight. So this is Simon Hurley's new Stellar ink. This is the Prom Queen dye ink. Oh, thank you. Kate said, my hints on directions have saved many stencils. Yay. That's what we want. We want to save the stencils. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this ink and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to push off some of it. I don't want a ton of ink on here. And then I'm going to start off. I'm going to start off of the stencil and I'm going to come in and I'm going to do exactly the same way I did with this bottom piece. You want to start off and then come in and follow the lines of the stencils. So these inks, I have always been a foam pad girl. I don't like the felt pads at all. So all of my inks, I only really buy the ones that are the foam. I'm really comfortable with them. I know how they work. That's my ink sweet spot. So when Simon released his inks with the foam pads, that was it. I was done. I was good. That's awesome and amazing. Yes, please. And thank you. Because I knew that Christopher would get them in stock at the store, and I knew that I was going to want them super bad, because I am a foam pad girl. That is my first. I love them. I love that you can just tap them. They are much different than the felt pads. And if you ever have questions, I can explain to you like what the difference is, but foam pads are just my absolute favorite. I love them. Susan said, you did it. Yes, I did. Yep, I did. And I figured if I got all the colors, and then I figured, well, if they, because that way if he releases more colors, then I just have to buy the new ones. I was like, no. Okay, so let's get this off so I can show you how cute this turns out. Now, remember I said you can do it the other way, right? So you can add your Cosmo glaze to the top and then do the tendrils with your ink. And by the magic of TV, we're going to get a thunderstorm. And I'm going to show you how that looks. So so you have two options with your jellyfish. You can do the top with the ink and the bottom with the Cosmo glaze. Or you can do the top with the Cosmo glaze and the bottom with the ink. And there is both of them. We're going to use this one tonight, but I think they're both lovely. Oh, yes, good to know. So yes, the re-inkers are the same for both. So you can stop. So the Stellar inks, so the Prom Queen re-inkers will work with both the foam pads or the felt pads, which I think is awesome. It's the same ink, it's just different stamp pads. So you have a choice now between which two you want. Okay. Stop. So we're going to cut this jellyfish down a little bit. And yes, I had to do math. I'm sorry. Sorry, I had to do math. So hopefully I got the math right. We are going to go ahead and cut our jellyfish down to 3 by 5.5 so it will fit on a card. And I'm going to do this very specifically. So I'm going to start on the right side and I'm just going to take a piece off that's close. I know it's thundering. I know it's thundering. Shh. And then this side is going to be at 3. So you're going to see I'm going to cut, knock it off. I'm going to cut some of my jellyfish off, right? We're going to cut a little bit of them off, and it's okay. It's okay to cut a little bit of your jellyfish off. I promise. It is not okay for you to keep barking. Knock it off. I don't like thunderstorms, you guys. My dogs hate them. They're terrible. So now we have, I'm going to say this again in case he barked when I was talking. 3 inches. And now we're going to cut it this way, 5.5. Oh, that's right. And we already did this, so we're good. Okay, so there's our jellyfish. Now we're going to do a little stamping on him with our detail ink, which is, stop. The detail ink, which is the freebie for tonight. So, just freebie for tonight is this Raven ink, and we're going to use it. So I'm going to put my little jellyfish into our Misty because, you guys, my jellyfish, he needs bubbles. So we're going to grab the stamp set. I know. He is not happy. Thank you guys for being patient with him. He does not like thunderstorms. And if you think he's like barking every now and then now, just he would be so yelling more if he wasn't in here with me. So our jellyfish needs bubbles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my jellyfish panel into my Misty. I'm not going to use the door because this stamp is too small to use the door. Yes, I know. Yeah, he really doesn't like the thunderstorms at all. Sometimes, sometimes I'll throw treats at him. Like, here, have a treat. That'll keep you. He's a very good puppy, but he doesn't like the stuff. So I'm gonna take my acrylic block and I'm gonna add bubbles. I'm gonna turn my stamp so that the bubbles don't all look the same. Right? I don't want all my bubbles to look the same. I want them to look a little bit more organic, go different directions. Right? Who wants their bubbles to look the same? Yep. Now, I usually don't color on my lives, but we're going to do a little bit of coloring today. So when you use the Raven Detail ink, I like to let my ink sit on the paper. Do you guys hear that thunder? It's pretty loud. If I disappear quickly, I know. Kate said her cats are coming in to cuddle my dog. Aw. And Sunshine Graham says, wish I could give him cuddles. I know, he'll take them. I just got my hand down here and gave him a little comfort on his head here. We'll give him a minute. Let him have a little bit of snuggles. It's okay, Coop. It's okay. And that works for us anyway because I want to let this ink kind of soak in. You're all right. Yeah, this is quite the storm we're getting here, huh? So this is Rouge cardstock. It's part of the bundle tonight. And can I just say this is my favorite cardstock ever? Like, it's my favorite. I'm going to try to one-handedly craft here for a minute because he's right here by my lap and he just wants pets and to know he's okay. So I'm going to... Yeah, it's really... So the Rouge cardstock... Okay, shh. Okay. Yes, I hear it. The Rouge cardstock, shh. We're going to cut it at 3 1/8. I feel so bad for him. He's shaking like a leaf. And he has a little shirt on too. But it doesn't really do much. Okay, so Rouge cardstock is going to get cut at 3 1/8. I'm going to put this here so you guys can snap a screenshot if you want. So there is the measurements for the jellyfish. The panel with the jellyfish, there's the measurements. Oh my. And there is the measurements for the Rouge cardstock. So 3 1/8 by 5 3/8. One, two, three. There we go. And that is going to give us, or it should give us, I think I got to cut this down. Yeah, this is 5. 5 1/4. See, I can't measure to save my life. There we go. This is why I don't math. So that's what we're looking for. This is the amount that we do. And that right there was plenty of time for our ink to dry. And I never color on my lives, but I'm going to color today. So none of our pinks tonight match perfectly, right? This Rouge cardstock does not perfectly match the prom queen. The prom queen does not perfectly match the Cosmo Glaze. The prom queen, the Cosmo Glaze, the Rouge, and the pen I'm going to use to color in these bubbles do not match. But by making sure that every shade of pink we're using doesn't match, what happens is it looks intentional. It looks like and we did mean it to be that way. So my advice when you are creating a card, if your colors, like say you have two blues and they don't match exactly right, add some more shades of blue in there. If you're using greens and two of the shades don't match exactly right, add some more green in there, because that way it doesn't stand out, right? So if this matched this, but then the pink cardstock, if that didn't match, it would stick out like a sore thumb, right? Or if the ink and the Cosmoglaze matched exactly the cardstock, but then I colored the bubbles a different color pink, it would look off. You would immediately notice it. But because I am intentionally using 1, 2, 3, 4 different shades of pink, it's all going to look intentional and lovely. So there's my little color. There's my little hack for color. If you can't get everything to match exactly, then make it so that nothing matches. And it will look fabulous. Because then it's intentional. So I am just using, I'm coloring with Zig Clean Color Real Brush Markers. That's the only thing I color with. It's the only thing I'm good at coloring with. I am not good with the alcohol markers at all. I'm not good with, I can blend these and color with these beautifully, but I cannot with alcohol markers. So. And then when we put it down here, and you can see 4 different shades of pink, and they are all going to look intentional and beautiful. So the next thing we are going to do is it's time to go ahead and kind of put this card together. So we need a card base and we need our washi tape. Fun fact, we are also going to use some of the pink washi that doesn't match. Okay, so let's start with our card base. So we're going to use just the tiniest little border of this pink here. Not a lot at all. We're going to center it right here. Now, there are a couple of different ways that we can design this card. So we can design it this way where we're going to put the washi here, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment right on the washi tape. And that's the card we're going to make tonight. But you could take this, cut it, right? So that your card doesn't open all the way. In fact, do you guys want to see me do that for tonight? All right, let's switch up our card for tonight. Because then I can show you 2 different ways to do this card. I showed you 2 different ways to do the jellyfish. I'm going to show you a different way to do this card too. So then with this bundle, you're going to be able to come back, watch the live, and get more than one card idea. So I'm going to open my card panel all the way. And I'm going to cut the edge off. Okay. Thank you. I don't want to say your name wrong, but thank you. I love it. Yes, the pink jellyfish is awesome. So good. I'm going to grab, I think my Misty just grew legs and walked away. Just a second. Nope. I hid it underneath something. So now I'm going to open this up. We're going to get one of these washi tapes. First of all, let's just talk for a minute about how amazing these washi tapes are. Like, they're fabulous. How gorgeous. It doesn't matter which one you pick. They're all beautiful. I love them. Let's use this one tonight. So it doesn't matter. You can pick whatever washi tape you want. I'm going to put it right here along that edge. And remember, this is going to be the inside of the card, right? This isn't the outside of the card anymore. This is the inside of the card. Nope, we're good. The storm is moving out of here. We made it through the whole storm, Cooper. We did it. Go us. Oh, I know. It's still rumbling a little bit. Shh, you're okay. Like a bacon. Yep. Misty Grizzlies and walks away. Okay. So then this becomes the front of our card, right? And we open it up. So it's like a little peekaboo card. And I'll show you the other way too. And then you can 100% stamp on washi tape. Just saying. So this is both of these sentiments on this underwater friendship card will work. I'm going to use the one that says friendship like ours never sinks because I feel like these little jellyfish and the bubbles, like bubbles, they always float to the top. So that's the one I'm going to use. The other one says, thank you for always being my anchor. And there is an anchor image here. So if you wanted, you could put the thanks for always being my anchor here for your sentiment. Where did I go? Take that little anchor and put the little anchor right down here and color it in a little bit. So you would have friendship like ours never sinks and then the little anchor. How cute would that? Or you could do, oh no, the other one, the other sentiment on here says, thanks for always being my anchor. So you could put that on the, and then, I got confused. So first of all, I think it's important to tell you that I am centering this sentiment, but I'm also stamping it upside down and sideways while it's in my Misty. But then when we're all done with the card, it'll be like along this strip. All right, there we go. So I'm going to be able to show you how to do 2 cards with this, plus a couple other ideas as we've gone along. I am going to stamp this a couple of times so I have a nice, crisp, clean image. Sometimes when you're on the washi tape, see the first the first impression is always like it soaks right in and kind of doesn't quite give it a nice crisp, clean stamp. So do it a couple of times. Keep going and it will. It will give you a nice, crisp, clean stamp on the washi tape. I'm going to do this one more time and then I think we're good. So don't forget, if you want to purchase the bundle tonight, you'll get a free Raven black detail ink. We just used. So then our card, this finished one is going to look like this. So we have our little sentiment down here, and then it kind of opens up. Or here's the other one where I put the sentiment and the washi strip right there on the front of the card. So then the card just opens like that. So then same design, but then you have two different ways you can have it open and use. And then you also have the option of switching your jellyfish. So instead of having it pink at the top, Cosmo at the bottom, you could have the Cosmo Glaze at the top and then the pink at the bottom. So lots of options with tonight's bundle, tons of them. And that is where we are going to call it done for tonight. So the hardest part of this card is that dry time for this stencil. I would give it a solid hour, maybe a little bit longer than that for it to really dry and cure. Depending on how thick the Cosmo Glaze is on, sometimes I'll have where some of it, where it's a little bit thinner, will dry faster, but then you'll have these thicker parts. So make sure when you're giving the glaze the dry time, make sure you're giving it enough time so that even the thicker parts are completely dry, because there is nothing more frustrating than having something perfectly stenciled, but you have one part that's a little bit thicker, and inevitably you're going to touch that one part while you're putting your card together. Ask me how I know this. Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you guys all so much. I am so happy you all stuck it out with me. So we have lots of ideas for tonight's bundle. I love this jellyfish stencil. I think it's so fun. And I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Thank you, Kate. Kate said, I love all these cards and the variety. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone. Talk to you later.